So basically, the first thing I like to think about with the foster program is that it's a little bit different than our regular volunteer program because our fosters are on an island. They are away from the shelter. They're alone most of the time. They don't have the same connections that we do at the shelter. They don't meet as many people. They don't integrate as much in the program. So when you're thinking about them, you have to think about it in that realm, that the main thing that we want to do is find ways to get them connected to the shelter. Along with that same ocean theme, they're kind of like a starfish. So when that foster's out there and they've only met the foster parent or the foster coordinator, um, maybe a person in your hospital, they're kind of like that starfish hanging by one little tentacle. And if a wave comes along, they're going to get washed away and never come back. If we can get them ingrained in meeting more people, doing more things for the shelter, um, it's more rewarding for them, and it's another way to show our appreciation for them. We want to, of course, thank them at every opportunity. Everybody knows that. You can do it any way, shape, or form, and there's no too much in thanking. You can thank them verbally, you can thank them in a thank you note, you can thank them in an email, you can do small gifts. We just really need to make them know that they're appreciated and a part of our team. It's not just the foster coordinator's job to thank them, it's everybody's job. The person who greets them when they come into the shelter should be thanking them for taking that litter of kittens. If they're taking an especially hard animal, we want to thank them for doing that. If they are bringing their cats in for a treatment or a checkup or things, the hospital team needs to thank them as well. It's really an important piece that we train our staff to work with volunteers and to know how to give appreciation to the volunteers, because again, it doesn't rely on just one person. The foster coordinator and the volunteer managers are bringing them in. It's everybody's job to keep them. We really focus on our hospital a lot because that tends to be an area where we have a few conflicts or a few things. And the main reason for that is that our hospital staff see diarrhea and vomiting and URI and all of those things every single day. And they become a little bit numb to it. It's just normal for them. For our foster parents, it's not. It's a huge deal. If their baby is sick and not feeling good, it's the end of the world today. And if they're not shown that compassion and that caring when they bring those animals in, that can be a real problem for your program. So training your staff, training your hospital team, helping them find ways to show compassion and just support for our fosters is really, really, really important. We definitely like to do training and during our onboarding process for all new staff in ways that they can work with volunteers. We also let them know what things they have available to appreciate their volunteers. You know, where are the note cards kept? How do you do that? What other things do we have available? Do we have gift cards? Do we have a mug with candy? Whatever that is that we can give them, the staff needs to know that they have the ability to do that as well. Here's a couple small things, sorry about that, that we've done in the past. We have a supply of gift cards available that we can give to people who go above and beyond. We also do some small fun gifts on holidays or volunteer appreciation week, or just if it's a really rough foster season. There's things you can do really inexpensively. Dollar Tree is our best friend, as well as Pinterest. They have really great ideas and things. This was a little thing that was just, we have a lot of people who garden. And so we did packets of seeds. They were like 25 cents each. And then we did flowers with little candies on them for those that didn't want to take the packets, so they could all have whatever worked for them. It was a really cheap, really inexpensive gift that we could do for the volunteers. This was a kind of an eye-opening experience for us. We had a volunteer appreciation event, and we usually do games and gift prizes and things like that. So one of our games was to guess the number of toys in the jar. And we had a really big iced tea pitcher, and we filled it with toys. And we had some wonderful prizes that were donated to us. We had a spa day for somebody with massage and candles and wine and all of that. We also had a restaurant gift certificate. And when the winner was selected, it happened to be one of our foster parents. And they were really upset that they didn't actually get the jar with the toys. They wanted that much more than they ever wanted the things for themselves. So I highly recommend that when you're looking for gifts for your foster parents, that you look for things that they can use for their babies. And this is a simple, really simple thing to do. Beds or props or things that they can use for photo ops. Our volunteers like to have their own supplies, like their own scales or cooling mats or whatever it is that you give them. They like to have their own so they don't have to bring it back and forth all the time. Treats, of course, are a huge thing. I have a lot of fosters who spend a lot of money on cats that won't eat. And so they buy all kinds of different foods for those cats. So giving them a supply of the things that they like to use when they're supporting their kitties is also a great thing that you could do. Continuing education is also a great thing. We finding ways that you can help your fosters to grow and learn more about what they're doing, or to advance within your organization and gain new skills is another way of keeping them and rewarding them for what they're doing. We do all kinds of continuing education classes. We're cat only. You probably have noticed that I refer a lot to cats. So ours are mainly feline. So we do bottle babies. We do fluid classes on how to give fluids, how to give vaccines, socialization courses, behavior modification, clicker training. We also do education, our doctor does educational courses on things like URI, ringworm, diarrhea protocols, those types of things, so that they just have more experience and more knowledge. It helps you and it helps them to feel like they're learning and growing. We all want to continue to improve and get better at what we're doing, and these offering them opportunities to do that can be really helpful and really rewarding for them. We also have positions that they can advance to. We have, ours is a mentor program, so every foster has a mentor, and then we have assistants that help them. So after they're a foster for a while, then they can advance to become a mentor assistant, and that person will go out to the home and do triage, vaccines, fluids, things like that to help the mentor. And then the mentor oversees all of that. So those are ways that you can help them to grow and learn and expand. It's really important to know our volunteers and know how they like to be appreciated. Some people enjoy public recognition, and we've submitted our volunteers for things like the Mud Bay Volunteer of Excellence and Unsung Hero Awards and things like that, and have had them be recognized that way. Some volunteers, that's not a good thing, and they would definitely prefer not to do that. So you want to make sure that you're rewarding them in a way that's meaningful for them. And some different ways you can do that. We now are starting to do a survey of people when they're onboarded, so that we know what some of their favorite treats and rewards are, and also how they like to receive their recognition. Events are really important too. It's a great way to bring your volunteers into the shelter and get them integrated in meeting additional people, staff, and other volunteers. Again, the more connections that we can make with the organization and with other people, the more rewarding it is for our fosters. A key point to this, though, is again, those people are out on that island. So we want to make sure that they feel welcomed and they feel comfortable coming to events. Sometimes if you know somebody's a little bit shyer or more reserved or not comfortable with those things, having the foster coordinator reach out and invite them personally, or having their mentor or another volunteer reach out and invite them will often encourage them to attend. This was actually is the most favorite thing that our fosters talk about when we ask them about recognition. And this is a way to connect them to your mission and help them to see what a huge impact they're making. It is a little bit time consuming, but it is really has been really beneficial for our fosters. At the end of the year, we send them a thank you note and we list every animal that they fostered that year. And for some, it fills up the pages. You know, some of those fosters are doing so much for us. But this last year, people were sharing it all over their social media because it just meant a lot to them. And it's just a great way of connecting them to your mission. And that's another way to submit those people into your organization. Again, get all those legs of that starfish stuck to the rock. So that's one of the other legs. So it's a really great thing. It is time consuming. We have some volunteers in the foster program that actually help us with creating these, and then several staff people do them. But it's just a great thing to show them how much they mean to you. Does anybody have great ideas that they'd like to share on what you all do with for foster appreciation?
At Austin Pets Alive, we've been doing Platinum Foster t-shirts. And so
Nice.
if you've fostered a certain number of dogs or like a long stay for a certain amount of time, they have different qualifications to it. We get a special shirt that says Austin Pets Alive on the front, and on the back it says Platinum Foster.
Fabulous. Anybody else? We also do milestone cards or gifts. We have a foster who this week will reach her 100th foster. So we'll do a plug on social media for her for that. She is one that likes public recognition. And then we have a small gift for her too.
That's awesome. I just wanted to say I love this, and I love that it's almost like a recruitment tool that that you didn't quite mean to make, but I'm sure that it is helping them to recruit.
Absolutely.
Oh, Lindsay, do you want to tell us? You put in the chat?
Yeah, so we just made some stickers that say like I survived kitten season 2021, and so we're gonna compile those and send thank you cards out. And then to some of the fosters that have fostered like a lot of the kittens, we have like tumblers or like bags with our logo on it. And we also are going to start, hopefully this month, maybe it will be next, of like a foster of the month post on like our Facebook, just so we can do some more personal recognition like that.
Fabulous. Well, that was all I had for today. So thank you guys so much for including me, and it was great to be here.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I loved the island metaphor. because it's so true. Oh my gosh. And when you get them connected, makes it so much easier for you.
It is, and they stay. You know,
Mhm.
the more connections they have with your organization, the longer that they're going to stay with you. And so it's really important that you work to get them integrated into the organization. And also, we also encourage them to volunteer in other ways at the shelter if possible. They definitely come for our events and things like that. We do a big Kitten Palooza event, and so we get a lot of fosters that come in and help then. But we try to encourage them to come to other things as well, so that they are more integrated. And our classes are really popular with that as well.
That's awesome. The classes, how do you run those? Are they like how does it work?
So it kind of depends on what the class is. So our our medical director has put together a few different PowerPoints and things on different diseases and all of that. Now we're doing them remotely where people can just log into them. But before we were doing in person, so people were coming in and we'd have snacks and drinks and it would be a few minutes of mixing and then we would do the presentation. So the presentation was an excuse to get them there, and then it gave them the opportunity to connect with other volunteers and staff as well. We hope to go back to that in the coming year where we can do some more things in person. Looking forward to that. So, other classes, we sometimes bring in outside guests as well. We have somebody doing a T-Touch class for us in a few weeks. We've had people come in and do clicker training, all kinds of different things. We get people from the community that are willing to come in and help as well.
Do you allow anybody to come in, or do they have to be a volunteer or?
Yeah,
foster?
right now we just have volunteer and staff because we don't have a really large space and we usually fill with that. But we're hoping at some point to have another location where we can do some larger things. And if we did that, then we would definitely open it up to the public.